वेलकम टू स्पेशल एजुकेशन विद हामिद नकवी। आज हम एक नया सिलसिला शुरू करने जा रहे हैं जिसमें जो स्टूडेंट्स स्पेशल एजुकेशन के किसी इंटरव्यू में हिस्सा ले रहे हैं उनको मुतवक्को सवालात और उनके जवाबात बताए जाएंगे। ये वाइवा की तैयारी का एक सिलसिला है। इसमें जो एमए और एमएड स्पेशल एजुकेशन के स्टूडेंट्स अपने फाइनल लेसन में हिस्सा लेते हैं और उनको वाइवा भी देना पड़ता है उनके लिए भी, और ख़ास तौर पे वो जो स्टूडेंट्स जो पंजाब पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन या किसी और भी पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन किसी भी सूबे का उसमें स्पेशल एजुकेशन के हवाले से जब इंटरव्यू देने जाएंगे तो इन सवालात का उनको सामना करने की तवक्को है। और इसमें जो हम आपको मुख्तसरन जवाब देंगे जो आपके लिए कारआमद साबित होंगे। What is special education? According to Individual with Disability Education Act, special education is specially designed instruction at no cost to parents to meet the unique needs of a child with a disability. Next, who is a special child? A special child is the one who so significantly deviates physically, intellectually, emotionally, or socially from every child of his age in growth and development that he cannot benefit from the regular school program. Next, what are categories of special children? According to IDEA, there are 13 categories of special children. उनको याद रखने के लिए हमने इस तरतीब से लिखा है कि इनका पहला लफ्ज़ बनता है द मॉम लव्स डैड, ये ताकि आपको याद रहे हर लफ्ज़ हर कैटेगरी का पहला लफ्ज़ मिलाया है। जैसे ट्रामेटिक ब्रेन इंजरी का टी, हियरिंग इम्पेयरमेंट का एच, इमोशनल डिस्टर्बेंस का ई, ये डी बन गया। मेंटल का एम, ऑर्थोपीडिक, मल्टीपल डिजीजेस, learning disabilities, other health impairment, visual impairment, speech and language impairment, developmental delay, autism, or deaf blindness. The mom loves dad. 13 categories of special children. Next, define mental retardation. According to Individual with Disability Education Act, mental retardation means significantly sub-average general intellectual functioning, existing concurrently with deficits in adaptive behavior, and manifested during the developmental period that adversely affects a child's educational performance. What is general intellectual functioning? General intellectual functioning is typically measured by an intelligence test. Persons with mental retardation usually score 70 or above or below on such test, or at least 2 standard deviations below the mean on the normal curve. Next, what is adaptive behavior? It refers to an individual's ability to meet social requirements of his or her community that are appropriate for his or her chronological age. And 3 main are conceptual skills, social skills, and practical skills. Next question. What are conceptual adaptive skills? Language and literacy, money, time, and number concepts, and self-direction. Repeat कर देते हैं. Language and literacy, money, time, and number concepts, and self-direction. Next question. What are practical adaptive skills? Occupational skills, healthcare, travel, transportation, schedules, routines, safety, use of money, use of the telephone. Next question. What are social adaptive skills? Responsibility, self-esteem, gullibility, naivety, social problem solving, the ability to follow rules and obey laws, and avoid being victimized. Next question. Explain degrees of MR. Mild mental retardation, IQ between 50, 55 and 70. Moderate mental retardation, IQ between 35, 40 and 50, 55. Severe mental retardation, IQ between 20, 25 and 35, 40. And profound mental retardation, IQ below 20 or 25. And this is taken from AAMR, American Association of Mental Retardation. इसमें चूँकि मुख्तलिफ लिटरेचर में ब्रैकेट डिफरेंट दी हुई हैं, सो रेफरेंस दे दिया गया है साथ. Next question. What is ASD? ASD, autism or autism spectrum disorder, is a complicated condition that includes problems with communication and behavior. It can involve a wide range of symptoms and skills. और इसके common symptoms क्या हैं ASD के? Lack of eye contact, a narrow range of interests and intense interest in certain topics, doing something over and over like repeating words and phrases, rocking back and forth and flipping a lever, high sensitivity to sounds, touches, smells, or sights that seem ordinary to other people, not looking at or at listening to other people, not looking at things when another person points at them, not wanting to be held or cuddled, problems understanding or using speech, gestures, facial expressions, or tone of voice, talking in a sing-song, flat, or robotic voice, trouble adapting to changes in routine. Next question. Define learning disabled. Individuals with this handicap exhibit a disorder in one or more basic psychological processes. These processes may result in difficulty of listening, talking, reading, writing, spelling, or computing. Next question, Ji. This question continues, Ji. Information processing refers to how your brain takes in information, uses information, stores the information in memory, retrieves the information from the memory, and expresses the information. Repeat कर देते हैं, confusion न रहे. ये हम बात कर रहे हैं define learning disabled. And in this, individual with this handicap exhibit a disorder in one or more basic psychological processes. These processes may result in difficulty of listening, talking, reading, writing, spelling, or computing, and it continues. Information processing refers to how brain takes in information, uses an information, stores the information, and retrieves the information from memory and expresses the information. Next G. What are types of learning disabled? अब types main कौन सी हैं? Dyslexia, severe difficulty in learning to read. Dyslexia is number one. Number two is dysgraphia, severe difficulty learning to write. Then dyscalculia, severe difficulty learning to do mathematical concepts and computations. And dysorthographia, severe difficulty learning to spell. Who is seriously emotionally disturbed? This is another type of special children. Individuals with this handicap suffer from psychotic disturbances which limit their ability to govern their own behavior. Is unusually intense, anxious, frowning, is easily frustrated, is overly sensitive to criticism and has a negative self-image, is shaky and nervous, explosive, demands attention, is overly self-critical, imagines peer and teachers' persecution. Next question, ji. Who are orthopedically handicapped children? जिनको physically handicapped भी कहते हैं. These individuals have a limited ability to mobilize themselves, sit in a classroom, and or use materials or equipment for learning because of muscular, skeletal, or neuromuscular impairment. An individual in this category may have one or more of the following characteristics: absence of limb or presence of limb, slow movement because of painful joints, lack of motor control. What is the difference between partially sighted and blind? There are four terms used in this respect. Partially sighted means a person who has partial vision, either in one or both eyes. Low vision refers to a severe visual impairment in which visual acuity is 20/70, or poorer in the better seeing eye and cannot improve with glasses or contacts. Legally blind means a person has a corrected vision of 20/200 in their best seeing eye, and totally blind refers to a complete loss of sight. What is the difference between hard of hearing and deaf? Deaf usually refers to a hearing loss so severe that there is very little or no functional hearing. Hard of hearing refers to the hearing loss where there may be enough residual hearing that an auditory device such as hearing aid or FM system provides adequate assistance to process speech. Next question, what are types of hearing loss? Based on location of the problem, it is conductive loss, sensory loss, or mixed loss. Conductive loss, the conduction of sound to the cochlea is impaired, cannot be caused by external or middle ear disease, cannot be cured, cannot be caused by external and middle ear disease. And sensory hearing loss due to a defect in the conversion of sound into neural signals or in the transmission of those signals to the cortex. And mixed hearing loss, of course, the conduction of sound to the cochlea is impaired as well as the transmission through the cochlea to the cortex. Based on age of onset, It can be congenital deafness, acquired deafness. Based on language experience, it can be prelingual deafness and post-language deafness. Congenital deafness is deafness by birth. Acquired deafness is after the birth due to some reason. That is deafness. And prelingual is deafness before the age when one starts learning and using language. And post language is after one has acquired to some extent language. What are classification of hearing loss? There are 4 classifications. Normal, the range is below 20 decibel. Then is mild hearing, 20 to 40. Then is moderate, which is 40 to 70. Then is severe, which is 70 to 90. And then is profound, which is 90 and above. Who are speech impaired? These individuals have speech patterns that differ from the normal to an extent which is noticeable. Some speech disorders are articulatory, vocal, stuttering, delayed speech, and speech disorder associated with cleft palate, hearing impairment, or cerebral palsy. ये हमारा पहला हिस्सा था जो हमने वाइवा की तैयारी करने वाले स्टूडेंट्स स्पेशल एजुकेशन के शोबे के उनके लिए हमने ये पेश किया है। इंशाल्लाह और भी इसके पार्ट्स आएंगे जिसमें हम मज़ीद क्वेश्चंस जो मुतवक्के होते हैं इंटरव्यू के दौरान, वाइवा के दौरान, वो देंगे और उनका साथ शॉर्ट आंसर भी देंगे जैसे इस वीडियो में दिया है। अगर आपको वीडियो पसंद आए लाइक करें, शेयर करें। अगर आप पहली दफ़ा इस चैनल पे आए हैं तो सब्सक्राइब करें और साथ बेल आइकन के ऊपर प्रेस करें ताकि जब भी नई वीडियो अपलोड हो आपको नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाए।